Hi and welcome to tutorial 77 in this series of tutorials and programs that focus on TradeStation Easy Language. If you're not part of our email list, then please go to markplex.com and I will let you know when I create new tutorials or programs. You also might be interested in our Gold Pass membership, which provides structured training in learning TradeStation Easy Language, as well as discounts off the various programs and tutorials that you could find at markplex.com. So in today's tutorial, we're going to be looking at volume, and I had a request from somebody on the Markplex list as to how it would be possible to include both volume and ticks on a chart. It's actually pretty straightforward to do that in version 9 and upwards. But first of all, let's just have a look at the chart, and you'll see here that I've got a volume indicator applied to the chart. And if we were to go and format the symbol, we'll see that essentially we have a choice here. We can use for volume trade volume, or we can use tick count. We can't have both, or at least we couldn't have both until version 9. Now, the other thing that you need to be aware of is that the terms volume and ticks have various meanings in TradeStation, particularly depending on whether you're in radar screen, option station, on a chart, and also the sort of bar that you have. So what I would suggest is you probably want to go to the wiki, and there's an extremely useful page there on this subject, including a table which explains what the volume is for various scenarios. So for example, if we had a chart set to intraday and we want to have the volume, then the keyword we use for all of volume is ticks, not volume, because volume would just give us up volume. However, if we're on an intraday chart set to tick count and we wanted all ticks, then we would use ticks. So I suggest that you might want to have a look at that table, and if you actually open up the TradeStation volume indicator, you'll see that they've done a little bit of changing there, and they've said depending on the bar type, volume value is going to be equal to volume, but else volume value equals ticks. Anyway, that's not really the main purpose of this tutorial. What I want to do is show you an indicator such that we can get both the tick and the volume data on the chart showing at the same time. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to click on the toolbox, and we're going to use price series provider. So what I'm going to do is just drag that onto the chart like so. Then I'm going to click on this, and we're going to look at the properties, and we're going to put in the properties that we're interested in. So I'm going to click on this little property icon here, and what we're going to do is first of all supply a symbol, which we have to do in quotes. So I'm going to put in here at ES, and we also need to make sure that the interval and the range are set up. So I'm going to leave that at 5 minutes, and the range, this is going to be the amount of data that this is going to bring in. Now we could just get one bar. I'm just going to get 100 just so that we've got a few bars on the screen, and we're going to want both volume info and ticks info, so we're going to set both of those to true. And then what we're going to do is we want this thing to update, or rather we want to do some things when the thing updates. So we're going to give it a name, and I'm just going to call it price series underscore updated, like so, and press return, and you'll see that that has now added some code to our chart. So what we want to do is, first of all, we need to supply the namespace here, which is ts data dot market data. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of plots. We're going to plot both the volume and the ticks, and the way we do that is we use the standard plot statement, plot 1, and the name of our price series provider, you'll see down here, is price series provide 2. So we're going to have price series provide 2. I'm going to put a dot, period, and that's going to give me some options here. Now we want the volume, so I'm just going to go down until we see volume. Okay. And then finally we need to put a 0 in square brackets there. That's the first plot. And then the second plot is going to be plot 2. And now instead of volume, this is going to be, well, let's just put in a period, and again we're going to see the IntelliSense. It's going to give us some options here, and what we're looking for is ticks. So I'm going to click on that, again 0 in the square brackets, and then what we're also going to do is plot these outside of this update loop. So if we had this, for example, applied to a different symbol, which we could do, then it would also plot when the different symbol was updated. Okay, so I'm going to verify that. Hopefully this will verify. Okay, now this is already applied to the chart, so we should see some lines here. And what I'm going to do is just make these into histograms. So I'm just going to double click on that, going to change it to a histogram, and the same for plot 2, only plot 2 I'm going to make it a slightly more visible color than the blue, so we can see both. And well, actually one's been overwritten by the other. Now the indicator at the moment is set to volume, so if we were to mouse over here, what we should see is that the plot 1, which is the volume, should be the same. Actually, I think we just moved there. Should be the same as the volume below. So let's just pick, say, this larger line here. So that's saying plot 1 35904. If we then hover over the indicator, you'll see 35904, the same. Now you'll also see that there is a figure there, 8270. That's the ticks, and we could check that just by format, analysis techniques, and we're just going to, or rather, I'm sorry, by going format, symbol, and at the moment it's set to use for volumes, use trade volume. We're going to change that to use tick count, like so. And if we now hover over here, we should see that that's exactly the same, plot 2 8270. But if we go over here, you'll now see that that value is 8270. So you'll see, using this little program, we've got both the volume and the tick data. And you'll notice I only put in 100 bars. So you'll notice if we go back a little bit here, you'll start to see that this is showing values of 0 because we didn't enter any more range. So for example, one thing you might decide to do is say, okay, wouldn't it be interesting to find the ratio of volume to ticks? So we could easily do that, and because we're doing a division, we just need to make sure the divisor is not 0. So we could say if this is not equal to 0, then plot 3, and we could just do the calculation. So we're going to be dividing price series provide 2 volume by the ticks. And I'm just going to put that outside of that method as well, and verify that. Now what we should see is that not only have we got the volume and the ticks, but we've also got a third value, plot 3, which is this ratio. And of course what you might like to do is change that to, well, yellow's fine, let's just change it back. Oh, it is a line, and the reason we can't see it is because it's a very small value compared to the volume and the ticks. But if we were to, for example, turn off those values, in other words, stop plotting the volume, stop plotting the ticks, then you would see it. Let's just do that just for interest. Just commenting them out there. Going to verify this again, and there you can see this ratio plotted on the chart. So anyway, I hope you might find this useful.